Sunset Ridge is getting really close too. They're just kind of waiting on Encore to finish up the underground power, putting in their street signs today.
Which one is it? Sunset Ridge?
The one, Business 67
Okay.
by the Valero.
Yeah.
Things are moving along. Yeah, I guess that's about it, really. Yeah.
A quick question about that. I've asked this to city manager the other day, but no work's going to be done on this road right here with those 100-something homes coming in, or right here. That nothing. They don't have to do anything on that road. It's going to be just as is, or is there plans down the road?
There was no plans. There was no agreement to widen it or anything at this time. But it looks like we may be looking at making this corner right here a two-way stop sign. It's because people want to cut that.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, it's going to be dangerous.
So we're looking into that.
And the hope is, at some point, something commercially will go here, and big picture down the road, we hope to see the road just extend straight into 2280, and at that point, between, partnering with whatever commercial business comes in, we can, obviously, they'll kind of be responsible for that, and then we can try to piggyback on that and extend and widen the road. So, but for now, the biggest concern is just making sure that that corner's safe. And, we've talked about either squaring it, putting a curb, something just to kind of help slow down the traffic.
All right. Any public comments? All right. Review, discuss minutes from the last meeting. If you had a chance to look over those, I'll entertain a motion when you have.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Mr. Gaddis with the motion. Nelly with the second. Any more questions? All those in favor? And it passes. Review, discuss, and consider the Type B Board financial report and sales tax report for the month ending May the 31st.
As I just wanted to give a shout out to Mira. She's been here for about a month, and she is doing phenomenal and continuing to find areas that we should be streamlining, in our software and everything else. So just wanted to reiterate how excited I am that she's on the team, and just the amazing job she's doing with building her team.
Well, thank you, John. Good afternoon, board. I will be presenting financial statement for March 2025. I will be doing something a little bit different. So I was here in the last board meeting, and so what I am doing today is taking into consideration all the questions that you had in the last meeting, and I want to make sure that before you ask, I have the answer. So we'll see how this goes. So basically, I'm sorry, that's really, really small, but I actually have good news. So if you look at the details of the, there's a packet, right? So the summary of, revenue summary for the month of March 2025, overall, we are 5.9% over what we budgeted from last year, so it's great, so it's good news. And as far as the expenses is concerned, we are actually 11% under what we budgeted, which is also good news. If you are interested in to find out why there's an increase in our overall revenue, is because Burleson Park had their renovation, in February, and we had about $9,000 in field rentals. So that really boosted our, revenue for the month of February. And I think I also have so what I also am doing, just so that you will see, there I would have put, every month now, I would put a narrative on the bottom of the page to show you what really drives our revenue up and down and all that good stuff. And then the last thing that was asked, that was usually presented, is how much money we have in the bank, in our money market. And so as opposed to just saying how much we have $549,134.47. You can see the movement of how much we've had since the beginning of the fiscal year, which is represented there in the lowest one, October 24, and how we have grown now all the way to March 25. And I think last meeting, Mayor Heinrich asked what was the interest rate. So because of that, now I put in the interest rate. The interest rate at the beginning of the fiscal year was 4.39%, and it dropped. Right now, it is at 3.87%. This is something that I'm doing a little different. I think because our revenue, the major contributor is just sales tax revenue, I think it's good to maybe just show how we are doing. And this is what it looks like. The big line on top, that is our annual budget. That's the $340,000 that we have to reach until the end of the year. And this is like where we are in March. Everything is still going well, like I said. So I just wanted to see, after this, you can give me feedback if these graphs and charts are helpful or not. My aim is to inform where we are and just to give it a better visual. And the next one is something fun. I think it was EDCA board that requested who are our top taxpayers, but since the information is protected and we can't disclose that, I thought I'll show who are the top payers, how much we earned sales tax for the month of March. And just for fun, there's a little map. These are the people that are contributing to our sales tax.
Kind of shows where the economic development is happening in our city.
And since I can't really tell you who they are, I added like an extra page there just to see what industries are contributing to our sales tax on your packet. I can't say yes or no. Right, Holly? No comment. I'll be happy to receive any of your feedback. If any of these has been helpful or something else that you would like to see, you can send it through the city manager or.
And part of the reason the expenses has been low too is partly because the position for the park maintenance, and then also, we didn't start doing the agreement for the green spaces until just last month. So there are some savings there that's part of that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, just FYI.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right, discuss and give direction to staff concerning Type B board funding a second outdoor warning system. Chief?
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good, I'm glad. Just to do a real quick recap on how I came before you today. This all started when a citizen reached out to one of our council members asking some questions about the outdoor warning system. I prepared a presentation and a report for council, and I think they liked it so well that they asked me to come and present to you in looking for funding for a second outdoor warning system, our outdoor warning siren. We have one that's functional right now, And from that point, I was asked to do some more research on that, not just looking at one, but potentially identifying that secondary site. That was done, and then I was asked to do a little bit more, getting some information regarding some different types, as well as some spec sheets. All that was done and presented to this board at that particular meeting. I think I missed one in between there somewhere. And then I've come back now. You'll see I've put on your table a new sound map that shows multiple sites for outdoor warning sirens, and then the projected sound map for that. There is one that's missing, and it would be located near Shady Acres RV Park, so it doesn't really affect the sound map. It'd be kind of right there in the middle. So these are sites that have already been identified. They've actually got some of the old siren heads that we talked about. But looking at it beyond that, we would really have to, there's a lot of different variables. We'd have to look at available land and then get, or easements, get rights of way or whatever the case may be, plus electrical availability to be able to look at putting another one on there. So at this particular time, this was the, what the sound engineer for this company was able to come up with, and I brought that back to you. So again, we were looking at potentially funding one or maybe two more outdoor warning sirens that we could add to our system. Just as a reminder, I know you don't have a lot of that information in front of you. The last quote I got, which expired on April the 13th, for one would be approximately $42,804, give or take a few $1,000s depending on how it's installed. That does not include the electrical. I'm sorry, sir?
Was there a discount for two, if we went with two?
No, sir, not at that one. Not that I'm aware of. Now, we can definitely check into it. Yes, sir?
We talked about the water tower out here on the west side first. Is that still?
Yes, sir. That one has long been identified as a primary site for other than the one that's existing. That would get us some coverage on the northern end of town. But
Is that what we're talking about funding now?
that would be up to this board and then, and to council is where they want to put it. So, now, when we looked at putting the first one in, we already identified the other site on here at the water tower on the north side is where we were going to put the next one. It'd be.
This thing here looks like a sonogram of a pregnant woman.
So that would be adding, I think it's an additional 6 or 7. And again, that's something that this board asked me to look into. Now, I can understand planning for the future, but please understand, there's so many variables involved, and then a lot of it will be dependent on where the city grows, how the city grows, and then availability of any lands or rights of way or easements or whatever we may be looking for.
What does the map look like for that tower?
That one,
Is it in this package?
it is not there. It was provided, I think, 2 or 3 meetings back, although I did bring one copy if you'd like to see.
I think you got it covered, that's fine.
I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but ideally, if we had our preference, we would put the next one at this water tower, because that would hit the next largest population. And then when we move to a third one, we would move it over somewhere closer off of 67.
More
correct?
likely than not, yes, sir. So there's a couple of areas there, and we're watching all the subdivision development. And, where are the most houses going to go, and where's that sound potentially going to reach? And so we adjust as the growth occurs.
And so I think really right now, we've been talking about it for a while now. We just now need a definite, do we want to move forward? Do we want to do one or two? If we want to do one, we'd like to put it back here. And if we want to do two, then we'll identify another ideal spot over here.
Yeah, we've been talking about this side for at least 15 years.
So at this point, we just need to know, is this something you guys are wanting to fund, or not.
We've been talking about this for a long time. It's time we get going.
I
I know
agree.
you brought up a couple of different, versions of the sirens. Did we land on which one we want to do?
What the company recommends is just going with what we already have bought. It's a rotational head. You can get some that they don't move, and they can project sound differently. But the sound maps that you're looking at were drawn using the same one that we already have. And that's what the company has been recommending. Now, of course, we can go bigger, we can spend a lot more money, and we can definitely look at something like that. But for right now, what they're recommending is stick with what we got.
That's the same one off of College?
Correct, South College.
So I guess this, we can take a motion to fund one or two. Do none, we just need to give direction without any vote?
Yes, you just give direction, being very specific of 1 siren, 2 siren locations, and then getting the numbers. Staff would need to bring the numbers back to you to vote on, and then I think we'll have to have public hearings and move forward that way.
Sounds like we're up for two.
I didn't hear what you said.
He said all we do is give direction on how many we want to help fund, and then they'll bring us numbers back later to vote on.
So I guess the second one we can figure out
Yeah.
at a later point?
But we're good with recommending two.
Are we gonna recommend 2 or 1?
I would recommend one and work on the second one later, as far as position is concerned. We do have a well site down on the east side in that RV park there.
Yes, sir.
Used to have a sewer lift station in there too.
Yes, sir. That's the map that I showed you, the one that you said looked like a sonogram.
Yeah.
That one is the one that they forgot to put in, and they didn't show that. But being that location, it wouldn't affect that sound map too awful much.
And there's plenty of power there for it.
Yes, sir. So that's the other consideration, is keep in mind, it's roughly gonna be about $40,000 for these, not including the electric. So the site on the north side, we know that there's electric available there, and it would be relatively cheap. We're talking maybe $8,000-10,000 to get all that done, to get it all hooked up. So there's gonna be some additional funds to this. If we put it on a right-of-way where there is no electric, now we could be talking about much greater expenses. So, again, a lot of variables to consider.
Are you doing the ones with the rotational head?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a necessity, I believe. Because I don't always hear it at my house, but when it comes around, I do.
Yes, sir.
I think we should look into put one in the south over by Wallen Park, because it looks pretty vulnerable not having anything over there.
That one I can definitely look at. So I don't even know if you remember the slide presentation, and it may be in the packet from several meetings back. There is an existing non-functional siren head in Wallen Park. There is no electric. That's one of the ones that I'm looking at, is if we were to put a new siren there, we might have to install a generator or find the electric. And Don, you know where everything's that's over there, so what do you think?
There was a lift station there years ago, but it's all been removed, so there is nothing existing there right now.
Power poles are not there anymore.
I think the power pole is there, but there wasn't anything like the old,
Typically, power companies don't remove that stuff
Right.
when you take one out. And if it was a lift station, had to have enough power to run this.
So if you wanted to focus on that area as a third siren potentially, definitely look into it, and we'll try to get some numbers together for you.
So do you have any idea what we just told you?
Yes.
I mean, 'cause I don't.
Yes. So what was being discussed is putting another siren at the already identified site. It's off of Old Mansfield Road on the north side by the water tower. And then what would now be a third siren at Wallen Ridge.
Okay. So you're gonna pursue.
If that's what the direction, that's what I understand at this point. You tell me if I'm right.
Was that a motion?
That's up here.
I motion,
You made a motion.
yes, sir,
We
There's
look
nothing else
at
we can't
Wallen
do.
Park.
to look at it and then get quotes on the Wallen Park
But go ahead with the one right now
Yes,
for
for
Mansfield.
right
right.
now, to go
All right,
ahead
so
and.
what I
Correct.
think then, without a motion, because they're giving me the look distinct out, that one over there for sure,
Yes.
and another one somewhere.
Yes.
So we're kind of telling you, go look for two.
Yes.
Okay.
I second that motion.
All right, so we're good. We all got it now.
So I have direction.
We got it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, discuss, give direction to staff concerning development of the pocket park, including discussion of informal survey, labyrinth feature, sidewalk access, et cetera.
So yes, we did, Orna, can't remember, so many new names. Did a Facebook, social media type post for about a month, let it run. And this is some of the feedback that we got back from that. What should the pocket park be named? And the results, where is it? Oh, looking at the wrong sheet, sorry. Should be this one here. Yeah, so, you know, we asked, what should it be named? What would you like to see there? Things of that nature. And then they had them rated. And then she kind of did a little sheet there, so you can see that little graph, the kind of blue and white page there. Dan Earl Roberts Memorial Park, Danny Earl Roberts.
No,
Just reading the list, sir. It's not mine.
They're gonna crucify you for just reading it.
I understand. Malone Park, Parish Park, Legacy Grove, Danny Roberts, Keene Pocket Park, Secret Gardens, Shady Oak Park, Little Lone Star Park, Audi Hollow, Audi Oaks Park. Those were the names that people came up with. Then
Where's the Paul Park on here?
the Paul Park?
Yeah. I guess I forgot to put that in, Paul. I'm sorry. I know we had an agreement. I knew we had an agreement there. I was gonna try to get your name on that.
PPPP. Paul Park, Pocket Park. So these were just, you know, we reached out to the public. These are the responses we got. Obviously, you know, the board's doing this, so looking for any other ideas or suggestions.
what I think you should let happen is let me name the park.
Sounds good to me.
I gave you the land, I'll name the park. I wouldn't even put that one out myself, but I suggested last time we name it Arouso Park because I don't want it named Heinrich. But Mrs. Arouso owned the land that I bought from her, and then I gave it to the city.
Could you
So I think it should be named Arouso Park.
arouse though?
Yeah, Mrs. Arouso.
I don't care what his name, but I like the name, the Pocket Park.
I like the name too.
Kind of like the ballpark when Arlington.
I'm not a huge fan about naming it after people. I like the pocket park. It keeps it kind of simple.
I didn't hear that. That was, they like it named the Pocket Park, but see, we're supposed to have 3 of them. So do we. Arouso Pocket Park? Is that wasn't what you meant, or?
Mayor Heinrich is saying, there's plans to have 3 pocket parks. And so if you just name them all Pocket Park, so that's
That's
why he's
perfect.
saying Arouso Pocket Park.
I don't
is
care
what
if it's
he's-
named a Pocket Park, but I'd like the name Arouso on it.
That's gonna be a city council eventual decision anyway, isn't it?
It would be, but we wanted your ideas as well. Then the other, you know, the other 2 columns, what should be, you know, in the pocket park? And, do you have any other ideas? Some of them are pretty crazy. We should add a pool, fruit trees. So, some of that is in the floodplain, and we do get heavy rain, so there's not a lot we can do there. You know, we can't put any buildings over that certain area, but we could kind of spread them out a little bit. Maybe even look in the future to make a concrete channel down the middle and keep that water down the middle and going down and under the street.
What floodplain is it in? It's not in the 100-year floodplain.
I don't remember the name of it, but it does show up just at the very, like where the culvert goes under the street. about a quarter, maybe a halfway, and then down.
Because Rick Neighbors
Pocket.
was the one that surveyed it, and he said it was not in the 100-year floodplain.
Well, it's changed over time. The most recent one, just a small portion of it is.
If you, that last real bad rain we had, I got pictures from citizens showing it's actually eating away the bridge, which that's my
Was
problem.
it going over the bridge?
Well, it's eating away underneath it too. And so, and because of it, it kind of backs up because there's not enough opening to let water through.
Right.
So it really does back up into the park quite a bit. I saw pictures from the last time. So again, that's our problem. But,
Yeah.
but, you know, he is right. We can't, you know, that might be a place you put the fruit trees or whatever because, you know, plants do love water. But as far as the actual equipment stuff, you don't want to put stuff there that's going to rust and, you know, do damage.
So some things to think about. I don't know if you want to give us any type of direction on that, but I also gave you a small map as well. I had our local concrete guy, Kevin, meet me over there, and it kind of shows, because Mr. Heinrich had also asked about having at least a sidewalk coming from Shady Oak going to that. So if you can kind of see on there where I drew the orangish, reddish lines on there, to go from the driveway that's on Shady Oak to the corner would be $7,000. And then to go from the corner of Shady Oak to the park area, kind of end at the bridge right there for now until we figure out what we're going to do with the rest of it, would be $12,300.
Plus 7. Plus the 7.
Yes, yes, for each one.
We're gonna need to do something there so people can get to it without walking on the street.
Agree. Do you have a comment, Paul? Like to
Yeah,
speak?
Paul?
Yes, thank you. I don't hear anything definitive about a labyrinth, one way or the other. So if you don't mind, I will go ahead and pursue a little bit further, and bring some more specifics back next month. Maybe that would generate interest, either pro or con. But as to the survey, I mean, you tell me, I don't have the survey in front of me. I don't hear one way or the other about a labyrinth.
It was one of the items listed. They have picnic tables, barbecue grills, spaces to hang out, labyrinth, picnic tables, barbecue grills, walking trails, playground, covered pavilion, picnic tables.
That was, I did not see the survey, nor did I, obviously, I didn't respond to it. So labyrinth was a choice that a resident could make, or it was the resident's recommendation?
I believe that was one of the,
It had to
it
be.
was one of the choices. We had labyrinth, picnic tables, barbecue grills, space to hang out, playground, and then other. So yes, that was one of the items listed on the survey.
And it was picked 3 or 4 times.
Well, that's all we need. We're on the road.
No, the last 2 nights I've been under the weather.
But barbecue and playground were the top 2.
Yeah, I like that. I think the playground deal is a good idea for that whole community over that way.
And I would think that rather than make a big pavilion, that you probably ought to just make covers over picnic tables, you know, little concrete pad and metal cover over a picnic table.
There were several comments, you know, that recommended we don't do an enclosed building just to keep.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave it open.
All right, good suggestions. Y'all gonna just update us next month on where we're going with it? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have the ideas now. It's like, do you want to go with the top choices? Give us some direction so we can get some pricing together, get some quotes and some
I'd
bids.
say let them get some quotes on the top choices, the ones that people said the most.
Yeah, I think if Mr. Knott wants to go ahead and look into how much a labyrinth will cost and bring us more information next month.
But look into a barbecue pit, and I like what Mayor Hunter was saying about the little deals over the picnic benches would be awesome too.
Okay.
Similar to the one that's by the concession stand. Just has a small pavilion and then 1 or 2 tables under it.
I think if you set up separate tables around, 2 or 3, I don't know, 3 or 4.
Right.
I don't know how much that costs, but if I had Randy here working for the city, he could build all that for me.
Good, yes.
But you guys ran him off. So,
He's older than I am, sir.
yeah, I know. I'm just messing with you. I think 2 or 3 of those with a cover over the picnic table and fasten them down so they can't be moved.
As
I
far
think
as,
over here we move them, don't we? Underneath the
this one,
pavilion, they move
They
them
can be moved
around.
around, correct.
and then as far as like wherever the picnic tables are, do the barbecue pits that are just bring your own charcoal and like you see in state parks and stuff?
Mhm.
Okay.
I like keeping it as natural as possible. I think that was a suggestion.
Keeping your what?
As natural as possible.
Is there any of this stuff that we can vote on tonight, like the sidewalk? Or do we have to, some other legalese we got to go through to get there?
It's not it wasn't in this year's budget, so we just have to bring it back twice. Have
Okay.
2 readings on it before we can move forward with it.
Because that's something that could be done right away.
It could, and then council would also have to approve,
Okay, because it wasn't in the budget.
correct?
Yeah, fair enough.
Or we can just wait and,
Yeah, I would like to move that we proceed with the sidewalk, whatever we need to do.
okay. The ones like indicated on the map for now, the
Yeah.
starting point.
That can be
All right,
gotten out of the way.
so what's getting me on this agenda item is I don't see anything that says and possibly approve. So we can't we can't do a motion and make an approval on a review and discuss item. All we can do is basically say that we agree with Gary.
Okay.
We agree,
Yeah,
move forward, but we really can't say motion and
okay.
vote.
I see that.
Right, right. It's kind of give us direction to move forward, and then we can come back with,
We can vote on it next time, Rob.
In fact, if we were, if you had the concrete guy in there and you wanted to go ahead and lay the thing out and put the pads down for 2 or 3 tables or something, well, he had a truck there, he might do it all together and save some shekels.
I'll bring you back pricing on those with a couple of different ideas and layouts.
Sounds good. All right, pretty much wrap E and F kind of together. Give us an update on the additional fencing, and then let's talk about installing lights on pickleball.
You should have a bid in your packet there, I believe. I can get through my paperwork.
Yeah, so. This was kind of one that I kind of ran with. So basically, just to put the fence down the middle it was under $4,000, which is below the rate I technically need to go get 3 bids. I'm happy to go get 3 bids, but Don actually reached out and got another one just for fun with someone that he knew, and they were actually a little bit higher, so. And this is someone that, one of our councilmen know and trust and recommended, so I'm good with moving forward if you all are. You just, let me know.
So it's not anything you have to go out and get approval of? It's within the budget to just do?
It's below the threshold, so yeah.
Again, we can't, it's just a report we're receiving, but I'm all for it. It's the people that are playing out there, balls go everywhere. It's well worth. Everybody good with that fence?
I didn't hear.
$3,800 fence at the pickleball court,
Yeah, it's,
underneath the threshold, so you should be able to just do it.
Is it the $33.91?
yes, correct, yeah. $3,391, and
okay.
it's gonna be kind of not a tall fence, it'll be kind of a half fence.
Yeah.
And it'll be supported along the top so people can lean on it and that kind of thing. And there will be a gate, kind of in the middle so that, and then a way to walk around the one side, kind of like what we discussed. So, Don and I went down there, met with him, showed him, walked through him, everything, and, this is to spec. And it'll be the same, it'll match as far as, you know, he's going to match the material that's already out there, so it'll look like it's always been a part of it.
Sounds good. And what about lights?
Well, that's the next one. You want to give me direction on this one first?
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
Yeah, do it. We can't, it's not an action,
I know we discussed doing it with,
it's not an action item, so we can't vote it. You need to receive your report.
okay.
So we
Oh, look
receive
at-
it.
Look at
We
this, we're
say,
all
"Good
learning.
job."
We're all learning, all right. As far as the lights, now this is literally just a budget number. And this is big enough that, you know, we probably would want, it's over the threshold, we would want to go out and get 3 bids for you. But you're looking at roughly $27,000. And here's the thing, we could go get an engineer and do a light study and put it to pickle standards and all that kind of stuff. But this is, let's be honest, let's put 4 light posts out there, put some LEDs in there to keep the energy cost down for the city, and give people light, like the basketball courts.
Agree.
So,
I thought we talked about doing it like the basketball courts, where we pay next to nothing for them.
Needed to add something to the one court on the south side, I believe
Correct,
it
yeah.
was, wasn't it?
Because I know on the basketball courts, we don't pay very much
We
monthly
don't pay
for
much
them.
monthly. I don't know what we paid originally to get those years ago installed. We don't have anywhere to install them on the pickleball court.
I
I
don't
think most of this cost is just installing.
Because you could run it from the bathrooms that's right there.
no,
It's gonna take more power than that. They're gonna have to go from the transformer and trench across and,
What are the bull?
Talking about
what are
for
the
lights?
bullhorns for? What are the bullhorns there? It says 4 bullhorns. Is that an electrical term I'm not familiar with?
I think so, because I didn't ask for anything that's.
There's no
like a-
announcing system, no warning system, no.
No. I'm assuming that's kind of a electrical
Term.
term that I don't understand.
Yep.
If Donnie were here, he probably would.
Well, what you're looking at is something that ornamental, that looks nice, or it's not a wood pole.
No, it's a
But you
nice
had $27,000, how many lights are you gonna put in?
4.
4?
Seems like a lot of money.
This is all in cost. Well, again, we're gonna get, again, this is just a budget, you know, trying to get you numbers. And so, you know,
Ideas.
this is big enough that I would need to go out and get 3 bids. So,
It's actually 8 lights on 4 poles, right?
mhm.
So it's 8 lights on 4 poles. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I mean, kind of picture a pole going and it's gonna have 2 lights and it's gonna be, you know, each corner, it's gonna be focused on a court.
Mhm.
So what you need from us is just go ahead and move forward, getting 3 bids?
Yeah, I mean, you're good with that amount and now we're gonna try to do our best to do it under.
Yes, we can vote on that.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, do we have anything for executive session? Assuming nope. Request for future agenda items.
Okay, so, based upon, our charters and everything, we need to have an approved budget by July, okay? So, the next, meeting, of course, do they have that? Okay, so what Don was showing you is kind of what you had last year, and again, you know, ultimately, we want to be doing as much out of the system as possible, but, you know, Mira's, we need a little bit more time, so we're going to be using kind of the same format as last year. So the next meeting, we'll be bringing to you kind of, this is what we're projecting for budget items, and it should be pretty simple as far as cost and any additional increase that we're expecting.
Is this sign out here, is that in next year's budget, or was it in this year?
Well, that's already been, you've already given us the approval to move forward with it,
But
but
did
we
we have
didn't
to vote?
have a council meeting last month, so we have to wait until the June 5th, and once they approve it, which I don't see any reason they wouldn't, then we will release the contract and move forward, so that's the only reason that's kind of,
Did we have that in this year's budget? Oh, so we had to do the twice read and move it on?
Right,
Yep.
get council
Correct.
approval.
So once we get council approval, June 5th, then we'll move forward and get that fixed, which, trust me, we're very excited about. I've actually had meetings with like TxDOT and university, and we do want to do a better job of collaborating and, letting the community know what's going on, So
Yeah.
we're very excited and thankful that you're allowing us to move forward with that.
No, I think it's a good thing. We started out with it when we built the building, and then it didn't work.
Yeah.
Spent a ton of money on it, so I guess we need to back up and do it again, huh?
Well, I feel good about the contractor we're going with. He's been doing a great job
Yeah.
for the ISD and,
Yes.
and for the university, and he's local, and we won't have to worry about not being supported.
Yeah.
All right, anything else that we haven't already brought up for the future agenda items?
Do we need to, put on there about possibly getting Chuck back on the board, or is that something that's being discussed?
Well, it looked like in the minutes that we recommended it to council, and now it's in their court, right?
Oh, it's in there?
Correct, that'll be on
Okay.
the June 5th, this coming.
After you asked me
agenda.
that, I read that, and it looked
Okay,
like it was,
perfect.
yeah.
Yes.
And then, I would like to possibly discuss the skate park. I know it was part of the, project feedback, and we've discussed it, I believe, a few months ago. And I want to see if, that's something we want to start moving forward with. I've been in contact with a company called SPA Skate Park, and he has information that I'll be able to send over for next month's meeting, and I'll be able to kind of look at the numbers for that.
And something to keep in mind, that the land that you guys sold, that's also gonna kind of put additional revenue into your budget, or into your bank account, I should say. It just kind of got held up a little bit, not for any reason other than kind of a lost the paperwork kind of thing. So,
We got the money?
not yet, but it's,
Not yet.
it's still coming.
How
So,
much?
400,000, right? Well, minus the realtor fees. So we don't know I don't
Right.
know.
And basically, the contract says if it appraises for 400,000, I think was the price.
So we'll put this on a discussion item for next month so that we can actually talk about it, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll do an update on the sale next month. So that way there's official numbers. But I did meet with a guy that wants to buy it, and like I said, there was just a little bit of a hang-up, but it's not for anything to worry about. It's just there was a hang-up. So,
Well, if it doesn't sell, we don't worry about it.
well, so that'll be additional revenue in your bank account that you guys can use to work on projects as well.
Anything else? Not most, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And your silence I will take as a second.
Second.
All the time. All the time, please.
It is 4:13.